Unbelievable facts about introverts. What no one tells you. Think you know everything about introverts? Think again. Today, we're diving into some unbelievable facts about introverts that no one tells you. Introversion versus shyness. What's the difference? Introversion is often confused with shyness, but they're not the same thing. Shyness is about fear of social judgment. It's that feeling in your stomach when you have to give a presentation or talk to someone you have a crush on. Introversion, on the other hand, is all about how you respond to stimulation, particularly social stimulation. Introverts simply find their energy drained by lots of social interaction. They're not necessarily afraid of social situations, but they find them tiring. It's like a battery that gets depleted after a long day of socializing. Imagine you and your extroverted friend go to a party. You both might be equally outgoing and engaging, but afterward your extroverted friend is energized and ready to hit another party, while you're ready for some peace and quiet with a good book. That, my friends, is the difference between introversion and extroversion. Of course, introverts can be shy and extroverts can be shy too, but they're not two sides of the same coin. They're two completely different coins altogether. Understanding this fundamental difference is key to appreciating the many facets of introversion and debunking the myths that surround it. Introverts make great leaders, from Bill Gates to Rosa Parks. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, introverts? Leaders? Don't leaders have to be charismatic and outgoing? Well, history is full of examples of introverted leaders who changed the world. Think about Bill Gates, the mastermind behind Microsoft. He's known for his quiet demeanor and deep focus, yet he revolutionized the tech industry. Or consider Rosa Parks, whose quiet act of defiance sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and helped ignite the civil rights movement. She wasn't a loud, boisterous figure, but her quiet strength spoke volumes. Introverted leaders often lead by example. They listen attentively, think deeply before they speak, and carefully consider all angles of a situation. They empower others to share their ideas and create a collaborative environment where everyone feels heard and valued. They may not be the loudest voice in the room, but their actions speak louder than words. Embrace your quiet strength, your thoughtful approach, and your ability to connect with others on a deeper level. The power of solitude: why introverts need alone time. Now let's talk about something near and dear to every introvert's heart: alone time. For introverts, solitude isn't just a preference, it's a necessity. It's like oxygen for their souls. After a long day of interacting with the world, introverts need time to retreat and recharge in their own company. Think of it like this: imagine your social energy as a phone battery. Every interaction, every conversation, every bit of external stimulation drains that battery a little bit. And just like your phone needs to be plugged in to recharge, introverts need to unplug from the world to replenish their energy. During their alone time, introverts can engage in activities that bring them joy and allow them to tap into their inner world. It could be reading, writing, listening to music, spending time in nature, anything that allows them to reconnect with themselves and process their thoughts and emotions. Unfortunately, our society often misunderstands the need for solitude. It's often seen as something negative, associated with loneliness or being antisocial. Now, while introverts cherish their alone time, it doesn't mean they're not social creatures. They are, but they're often more selective about who they let into their inner circle. Instead of a large network of acquaintances, introverts typically cultivate a small group of close friends with whom they share deep, meaningful connections. Think of it like this: introverts are like a warm, cozy fireplace. They don't open their doors to just anyone, but when they do, they offer warmth, comfort, and a safe space to connect on a deeper level. They value quality over quantity when it comes to relationships, and would rather have a few genuine connections than a superficial network of acquaintances. They're not interested in small talk or surface-level interactions. They crave authenticity, vulnerability, and intellectual stimulation. With their close friends, introverts can truly be themselves. They can let their guard down, share their innermost thoughts and feelings, and engage in conversations that matter. In a world that often seems obsessed with being heard, introverts possess a superpower: the power of listening. And I don't just mean passive listening, but active, engaged, truly listening with the intent to understand. Remember how we talked about introvert social batteries draining quickly? Well, because they're so conscious of their energy levels, they tend to be more thoughtful and deliberate about how they spend their social capital. They'd rather listen intently to what someone has to say than dominate the conversation. They pay attention not just to the words being spoken, but also to the unspoken cues, the body language, the tone of voice, the emotions behind the words. They listen with empathy and seek to understand perspectives different from their own. This makes them incredible friends, confidants, and partners. They're the ones you go to when you need someone to truly hear you, to validate your feelings, and to offer thoughtful advice. Contrary to popular belief, introversion is not the opposite of creativity. In fact, some of the most brilliant minds in history were introverts who found solace and inspiration in their own company. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. She famously conceived the idea for Harry Potter while on a delayed train journey, lost in her own thoughts. Or consider Albert Einstein, a theoretical physicist who revolutionized our understanding of the universe. He once said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind." You see, introverts thrive in environments that allow them to tap into their rich inner world. They're often drawn to creative pursuits like writing, painting, music, or anything that allows them to express themselves and explore their imaginations. Their quiet nature allows them to observe the world around them with keen eyes, noticing details others might miss. They're deep thinkers who enjoy exploring complex ideas and finding connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. Okay, let's talk about something that makes many introverts cringe: small talk. You know, those conversations about the weather, the latest sports scores, or what you had for breakfast. Yeah, those. For introverts, small talk can feel like navigating a minefield of awkward silences and forced pleasantries. It's not that they're trying to be rude or unfriendly, it's just that small talk often feels shallow and meaningless, like a waste of precious social energy. Remember, introverts crave depth and authenticity in their interactions. They'd rather engage in a stimulating conversation about a shared interest or delve into a thought-provoking topic. Small talk, on the other hand, can feel like a barrier to genuine connection. It's like trying to have a deep conversation with someone while wearing noise-canceling headphones. The connection just isn't there. Now, if small talk is introverts' kryptonite, then deep conversations are their superpower. They're like intellectual explorers, eager to delve into the depths of ideas, beliefs, and perspectives. They find joy in unraveling complex topics, challenging assumptions, and engaging in thought-provoking discussions. Remember how we talked about introverts being great listeners? Well, that skill comes in handy during deep conversations. They're not just waiting for their turn to speak. They're actively listening, absorbing information, and formulating thoughtful responses. Deep conversations allow introverts to connect with others on a deeper level, beyond the superficialities of everyday life. They're able to share their true selves, their passions, their fears, and their dreams. These conversations are like fuel for their souls, leaving them feeling energized, inspired, and connected. In a world often consumed by noise and distractions, introverts possess a superpower often overlooked: the power of observation. Because they're not always caught up in the hustle and bustle of social interaction, they have more mental bandwidth to observe their surroundings and pick up on subtle details others might miss. Think of it like this: introverts are like detectives of the human experience. They notice the subtle shift in someone's body language, the flicker of emotion in their eyes, the unspoken words hanging in the air. They're keen observers of human behavior and can often read between the lines to understand what's really going on. This observational prowess makes them incredibly insightful friends, partners, and colleagues. They're often the first to notice when something is off with someone they care about, and they're not afraid to ask the hard questions, even if it means venturing outside their comfort zone. Their ability to observe and analyze their surroundings also makes them excellent problem solvers. As we wrap up our exploration of unbelievable facts about introverts, let's revisit the concept of the social battery. Remember how we talked about introverts needing to recharge after social situations? Well, that's because social interaction, while enjoyable, can be draining for introverts. Think of it like this: imagine your social energy as a bank account. Every interaction, every conversation, every bit of external stimulation withdraws a little bit of energy from that account. Introverts simply have a smaller social bank account than extroverts. This doesn't mean they don't enjoy socializing or connecting with others. It just means they need to be mindful of their energy levels and make sure they're not overdrawing from their social account. When introverts push themselves beyond their social limits, they can experience what's known as an introvert hangover. So there you have it, some unbelievable facts about introverts that you might not have known. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content. Comment below with your thoughts or any other facts about introverts you know.